Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. We're going to talk modern day wrestling. What's going on in pro wrestling today? I got a few things that I read about today. So, Jack, tell us a little bit what's going on.
Well, there's just a few points. I mean, there's not really a whole lot overall. I saw a lot of buzz on the internet. People going crazy because Asuka got her tooth knocked out last night by Shayna Baszler on Raw. To which everybody that posted about it, I went to their page and commented, "It's good for the business." And I did get some flack for that because they kept telling me that I didn't know what I was talking about. Little do they know. Anna Jay, AWA star, out for a year with shoulder surgery. The Young Rock, if you haven't seen this show, it's pretty good. They had their first episode last week. Episode number 2's tonight. And I like the casting on this. The all the characters, all the professional wrestlers from back in the day that are a part of this series, I thought they did an excellent job casting all of them, especially Andre the Giant. The guy doing that is very, very convincing. Now, he's not quite as big as Andre, but still a big old guy, and he got that look, but he sounds like him too. Let's see. The rumored plans are for The Miz. Of course, The Miz captured the championship the other night. I forget his Universal, I think. That's the Raw version. Anyway, he's only going to be short-lived, from what I understand. Either Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley, one's going to take it back because Drew versus Lashley for the championship is supposed to be the WrestleMania match. It was finally decided that Edge is going to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is going to be a 2-night event, April 10th and 11th. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, 3 hours each night.
Wow.
So it's like Raw multiplied because you got 3 hours Saturday, 3 hours Sunday, 3 hours Monday.
Let me ask y'all this question. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Is anybody going to care?
No, and it's not their fault.
No.
And that's the sad part about this is those are two great guys, but they're absolutely doing. I think we talked about this last night. Now I like Drew McIntyre, but I don't know who Drew McIntyre is. He's a guy that comes out in the kilt and he's got a sword and he's from Scotland. He's got that accent, but I don't know who he is. You can turn him heel right now and I wouldn't know the difference.
The problem is they joked Bobby Lashley to death. He was a comedian. And now you're going to try to put him in a world title match, whatever. I don't know if he's the Universal Champion or he's the World Champion. I'm not for sure. I just don't think people are going to care.
Well,
I think Edge and Roman Reigns are going to have a spectacular match.
Yeah. They've done a better job building Roman. Well, let me take that back. They hadn't done it. I think Paul Heyman has added that edge that Roman Reigns needed. He's that voice that Roman didn't have, but Roman has really embraced that heel character, and he's I like everything they're doing with him right now.
Seth Rollins came back. I heard a rumor that they're going to put him back with Roman Reigns. I think that's a mistake.
Lord, I want to like that guy. I really do. I mean, I think he's talented, but what they do with him, it's just not him. It just doesn't work. It doesn't click anything for me.
But if they do put Christian against Seth Rollins, that's going to be a tremendous match.
Yeah. Now that it will be.
Something they said, and I found it funny. I found it funny that with the things I was watching, they said they're going to have a major turn on Friday, and they may have already done it. They said Sasha was going to turn on what's the girl's name? Bel Air or something like that.
Yeah.
Whoopie doo.
Yeah.
They've turned everybody there. So why does it matter if you turn?
I don't know that they're going to do that because Sasha really hadn't been a babyface all that long. And I will hand it to them. It's, they don't just flip it back and forth too very often, unless it's a part of the storyline. And she's really drawing for them right now. Or, well, I say draw. She's getting attention for them positive as a babyface. So
Ken Shamrock is in the news, and he owned the name The Rock. He actually gave it to The Rock because he was called Ken The Rock Shamrock. Owned, I guess the UFC or something. He owned the name, and he actually gave it to The Rock. And I guess that's the reason The Rock, I think, inducted him into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame, which I didn't even know they had a Hall of Fame.
Yeah. They only do like one or two people a year.
All right, Keith Lee. We talked about him not long ago, and we said we did not think he was going to make it. Rodney, you've seen Keith Lee. I don't think they did. I think they took him out of the match and put somebody else in it. Who did they put in it, Jack?
Morrison. John Morrison.
Keith Lee and you know what? He was great in NXT.
Yes. Yep.
Why did they change his personality?
Well, and here's the thing is that Vince does not watch NXT. Characters are developed and crafted in NXT, and you believe in those characters. And I will hype NXT till my dying day, unless they go off the deep end, of course. But character development is their strongest point to me. Storytelling. But they took this guy who was a beast, who could stand up to anybody, who had a great character, and Vince took all of that away. You don't know. It's just like Drew McIntyre. It's just like everybody else up there. You don't know who Keith Lee is up there anymore. They changed the way he looked. They changed the way he worked. He sent him back to train because he didn't think he knew how to work well enough. I mean, the guy can outwork everybody on that show, with probably the exception of Randy Orton. And yet Vince doesn't see it. And that's the problem. If Vince doesn't see it, he's not going to push it.
The first week he was on TV, they didn't even give him a win.
And had him in a skirt.
Shane McMahon, they're saying at WrestleMania, may go against Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman will kill him.
I hope so.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Parker Boudreau. Have you seen Parker Boudreau?
Parker Boudreau. I don't think
he is a new signee that is going to the
NXT. He's the looks like
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Yes, I have seen him.
This man, if you've not seen him, go look him up. This is a house of a guy.
Wow. No kidding.
I don't know if he can wrestle or not. Carlito is not going to sign with the WWE.
Nope. He had a 3-week tryout and they didn't keep him.
Which is crazy. He looked great, but maybe, I know they had a lot of problems with him, so maybe they just felt like they didn't win. But boy, he looks good. And AEW, call that guy.
He made the statement. They asked him, I saw an interview. They said, where are you going? And he said, I don't have anywhere to go, but I'm open. If anybody with initials like AEW or New Japan, anybody with initials, I'm willing to go work for.
I think Carlito. I believe. I think he's 42 years old now.
Yeah.
I believe you give him a good 4 or 5 year run and push him with somebody, except AEW.
And I'm gonna tell you, I've been on independent shows that he's been booked on, and you can't ask for a nicer guy. I went out there and worked his tail off, in front of, a few hundred people. I mean, he wants this. He's still hungry for it.
Well, then somebody needs to sign him. Either it's Impact, AEW, Ring of Honor. Somebody needs to sign him. He looks great. He still can go. So I think that's what they should do. I noticed that Rodney on this program did not speak a lot.
Well, not really. The reason it is amazing that Vince brings people over and doesn't know what he's going to do with them. That is not characteristic of that company whatsoever.
Yvonne Burns said WWE would be better if Shane was running it.
WWF would be better, or WWE would be better if Triple H was running it.
Yeah.
Shane, there's a reason why Shane doesn't have that management position there. He doesn't have the insight. And, of course, one of the biggest things that's a detriment to him is he actually cares what the talent thinks. And Vincent's never could stand that.
Richard Hood said Keith Lee is the only new talent I like. He can work. I mean, yeah, he can work.
Yeah,
but he could work.
That's possibly the problem. He can work, and they don't want that.
Well, I got one more thing I got to talk about, and then we've got to go. Vince McMahon sent a statement that said what's wrong with his wrestling is the wrestlers that they're getting is not pro wrestling minded. What does that mean?
He's the one who shot down pro wrestling and came up with the entertainment aspect. You know, it's his fault. That ain't their fault. And he's wrong. Because a lot of these guys are coming up from the independents where they're actually learning how to actually wrestle. And then when they get to WWE, they strip that ability away. I saw an article today where it was talking about wrestling being performance art. But you cannot be a performance art if you've got somebody standing over your shoulder telling you how to hold the paintbrush and which colors to use and how to use them. That takes away everything that we know as professional wrestlers how to do.
And the bottom line is he doesn't want wrestling.
No.
That company doesn't want wrestling. If they could drop wrestling out of their name, which they pretty much have,
yep.
If they could call it World Wrestling or take the wrestling out of World Wrestling Entertainment, he would today. It just
and I have one more thing to bring up before we finish here. And nobody here called it except for Rodney. Retribution.
Yes.
Is going away.
Hey, that was dead on arrival. I'd have told you that a long time ago. Anytime you take somebody that's basically putting the ring up and put them as the leader of the Retribution, it's not going anywhere. It had to be a top name guy. And
Yvonne said it would also be better if he kept them as the characters they came in as. Yes.
Yep.
Well, I mean, are they going to change Finn Balor when he gets?
Yes.
But Finn Balor was there, and they never, they gave him an initial push when he came from NXT to Raw. I think his first night they put the Universal belt on him, or whatever the Raw belt is, but he blew his shoulder out the same night, so he was out for 6-8 months. And when he came back, he was still had a lot of steam going, but from that point on, Vince just didn't want to do nothing with him.
Well, like I said, I haven't watched the show. I fast forwarded through Raw not last night's Raw, but the Raw before, and I fast forwarded and I noticed the same people were being featured. Basically, no one new, no one different. Everybody basically in the same position. And when I watched the matches, they were basically the same match. They just have different people in the ring, and that's women, men. It wasn't any different for me.
Well, that is pro wrestling today. I think this was like episode 3.
Today. It's just
and we had this is not a dig at any talent. No. The talents cannot help what they're being asked to do.
It's not the talent,
nope.
Vince McMahon. Yep. It is your writers that don't know wrestling.
That's right.
The problem. Not the wrestlers that are wrestling. They are very talented at what they do, but you don't know what to do with them. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this show, give us the big thumbs up. Subscribe to the page. Also, share the video with people, and also go one step further, hit that notification bell. Until the next video, this is Pro Wrestling Today. I believe number 3, could be 4. Could be 5, but I think it's 3. All right, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next video.